Howdy once again, it's tubalcain, your YouTube shop teacher at your service. This is a video that is long overdue. It's a follow-up to a video that I put out perhaps 4 or 5 months ago in regards to a plea for help with 3D printing and CAD work and Fusion, Confusion 360 and all of that to help me with a couple projects that I wanted to have 3D printed and then cast up in my home foundry out of aluminum. Well, winter is finally over, so we're getting back to it. Well, this all started before Christmas when a friend of mine, my neighbor gunsmith, Richard, sent me a couple prints here, and this is off of the internet. And by prints, I mean I printed them out. These are antique drill stands or drill indexes, or should I say indices, and I thought they were so neat I thought it would be a good idea to try and 3D print them. Well, I can't do Confusion 360, so that's when I asked for help, and that was a temporary video. You will not find it, but this was available, made out of metal on some website, and it was $50. And it's a drill stand, probably was made out of zinc, I'm not for sure. Union Twist Drill Company, and this was for number drills. Well, I don't need a number drill one. Let's take a look at the other one here that was similar, and it's also an antique, put out by Alamite, and it too was for number drills. This appears to be much larger. Well, maybe it's not. It's just the way it got printed out here. But I thought those were such neat projects. I assumed that they were hollow underneath, so I thought, who can help me design and print one of those suitable for casting out of aluminum? Thank you to the several people that helped me with this, and several others offered to help, but I was a little overwhelmed here. But this first effort here, and that was by Frank Garrett. That was a 12-hour print. He printed it out, as I remember. But, you know, I'm not really going to cast these. This will be the end of it after this video here. This is probably not thick enough here to support, if we drill the holes, a large drill bit. We need more thickness probably, like this. Also on this, he did a nice job of printing out the numbers. And see, there's pre-punched marks to drill the holes, and he wouldn't drill quite all the way through. It's in the form of a gear, so I thought that was a real clever design. These numbers on here are not very durable, as you can see. And somebody else experienced that too. They probably wouldn't work in a sand mold, but thank you, Frank, for that. And I got letters and correspondence from all of these people as well. I like this one, tubalcain. And that was done by Timothy Gack. See, that's back in December. That took 9 hours. I think I did print this one. It's not on Thingiverse, by the way. Some of these are on Thingiverse. I don't know if that is or not. This would have to be printed in a different scale because, as you can see, what says 1/2 inch here is not 1/2 inch. It's about 1/4 inch. So it would have to be enlarged greatly, which means that this would be as big as a dinner plate when it got to the right scale. But thank you, Tim, for that. And these guys are pretty good with that Confusion 360. And here's one from Paul St. Marie. That's also not on Thingiverse. That would be drilled out. But again, this does not have the thickness here in this scale to support larger drill bits. You know, it would need to be that thick, like you see in a drill stand like this. So thank you, Paul. Now I have two here by Kevin Toppenberg, and those are on Thingiverse, and that's his name there if you want to look that up. He printed these out, and he used a PLA filament embedded with copper, and then he sprayed it as well and printed out in paper the sizes along with, let's see what's all on there, just all kinds of different information. And this piece is printed separate. It's threaded. I'll leave that out for the moment. Now this would cast up nice and would pull out of the sand real well. It's thick enough here where there still might be a considerable shrinkage problem. This would be quite a heavy, massive, and a heavy casting even out of aluminum. So that a lot of thought went into that. Thank you, Kevin. And he also did another one here. That's it on the back side. And this one is for numbers. And I think he did that by accident. That is, he made it with number sizes and then realized when he went back to the video that I asked for fractional. So he did both, printed them out, sent them to me through the mail at considerable expense and effort. So thank you to the 4 of you that did that 3D work for me, and some of you did the printing as well. But I'm not going to pursue this any farther. The whole idea to start with was that beautiful design that I saw in the antique one. So these are pretty much similar to that, but I really have enough drill indexes. I don't need any more. I don't have any bench space, to be honest with you. So, all right, let's get on to the other half of the video and the other requests that I made. Then in the second half of that plea for help, I asked for someone to design an Fusion 360, this item. Now, what this is, it's a little rack that can go on your drill press, and it clamps onto the column of the drill press, and you'd put your oil can here and perhaps a chuck key or other accessories in these holes. Note that this one is marked, this is aluminum, is marked 2 3/4 inch because that seems to be the standard diameter of a drill press column, at least the kind that you might find in the home shop. So here is what several people came up with. Now I also asked, well, I don't even remember what I asked, but for them to design them ready to use, that is out of thick enough printed plastic that it would be durable enough to just clamp right onto the drill press. And then I also said if anybody wants to make one as a foundry pattern, then I can try casting it up in my foundry, and that is yet to come. So if anybody wants to print one out, again by Kevin Toppenberg, thank you Kevin, down in Tennessee. This is on Thingiverse. I showed you how to find that in the earlier part of this video. But if you print this out solid, that is 100%, and this one isn't. This is, oh, I don't know, 20% fill or something like that. So long ago I forgot. That's why we have some irregularities there. But this would be ready to clamp right onto the drill press column and is the correct size as you see it here. Oil can, accessories, and I had done 2 of those. I think I printed these out, or did Kevin? I'm not sure. That's so long ago now. And of course the back clamp part is separate. So that's a nice project. And then next, I had some examples here from Frank Garrett. And when I printed this out, it was just in a very, very small size. So I just started playing around. I didn't know what size to print it or what percentage. You know, when you do something with Thingiverse, it's really in metric. So and it has to be scaled correctly. I had a little problem with that. But here it is that would actually fit. And that is the percentage. And I don't believe this was on Thingiverse, but here's the clamp. Now this would work, I believe this is a foundry pattern. Maybe not. So long that I forgot. Yes, this could be cast. It has draft on it. A little larger probably than what we needed there, but depending on the size of the oil can, it would be serviceable. And then after you cast it, you could drill holes here or whatever you required. And then finally, my buddy Ted, who is a dentist up in Wisconsin and has a 3D printer, and he's pretty good at drafting as well. So he came up with this, and this is a foundry pattern. You can see the taper, and he has allowed enough. This is a little oversized, hopefully so it will shrink down to the correct size. And he made two versions of this. There's one with a little drill index if you wanted to drill holes. And notice that it is quite a bit different in size right here. This would be more for an Eagle oil can or something like that. This one of those larger spill-proof oil cans. Actually, this one is quite a different size. I got to measure that, but I'm not going to do it here on camera. And there's the clamp for it, like that. Well, let me talk just a little bit more about that, and then I do intend to cast these to see if they will pull from the sand. There's always a little problem with the layering pulling out of the sand. Okay, now I remember what Ted told me, and the reason that this one is such a different size than this particular one would be difficult to withdraw. That is, there is no taper here. So he made an insert. This is the blue insert, and this would be used to ram it up. You may not follow this. Ram it up, and then this could be lifted right out of the sand and this piece pulled out separately. Let me try to explain this again. This is Ted's. This is a Foundry pattern. That is, there is draft. You can see that it's tapered in every direction except here. There is no taper there. However, there is on the other side, and all the way around. Okay, so once this is packed in the sand, it's not going to lift out because there's no taper in here. So the insert would go in there like this. Now I would pack the sand and then remove this, and it would pull straight up. And it would not drag any sand. The blue piece would remain in the sand temporarily. So that would be pulled up out of the sand. Then this could be lifted out of the sand. And that's only a temporary piece. And then the mold would be complete, ready to pour. That was a good idea, Ted. Anyway, watch the follow-up when I cast several of these up in aluminum as the weather warms up and I can get back into the foundry. Well, that concludes this short video. This is tubalcain saying so long for now, and thank you, Ted, and the others that contributed to the good of the cause.